his father's bills. None of us here have kids who pay our bills. There's obviously smoke here. Why is it taking so long for even these kinds of financial audits to happen?
Because Joe Biden's a Democrat. Now, the bottom line is this. You look at the laptop from hell being Hunter Biden. You look at that laptop. There are multiple mentions of Joe Biden. There's multiple mentions of the commingling of finances. There's multiple mentions of him getting a cut of the action. We have an eyewitness to that effect, Bob Alinsky, who is a serious person and a serious witness. We have him complaining to his daughter about 50% of his salary is basically going to his father, that he paid for some things for his father. Meanwhile, we have Democrats investigating Donald Trump, the DA in Manhattan, the Attorney General in New York, who should be disbarred in my view. We have this rogue January 6th committee who asked where the FBI is. They proudly keep announcing that they've applied more resources than any time in American history to chasing down misdemeanors, people who are trespassing and people who are parading on government property. That's like chasing down people who are jaywalking. Go for the violent people. Do you really need the entirety of the FBI to go after violent people on a January? Of course not. But this is the narrative. This is the push. This is the same FBI that tried to take out President Trump. That thing needs to be fumigated. It needs to be cleared from top to bottom. Unfortunately, you know, when I was Chief of Staff to Attorney General Meese, we had the greatest pride in that institution. I have no reliance whatsoever in that institution anymore. So it's the corruption of the media, it's the corruption of Washington, and it's the corruption of the Democrat Party that was behind the Russia collusion fake disaster, as that was.
Is Joe Biden compromised, Mark?
Well, I think he is. I also think he's corrupt. I mean, you're looking at least $13.5 million that went to the Biden family. And if you look at it, it's probably much more than that from foreign governments, from front groups, from the it's absolutely shocking. This Washington Post piece last week was a joke. They basically pulled the information from the Grassley-Johnson report and pulled the information from the laptop that was already publicly available through the New York Post and other entities. And in the 5th paragraph, they said there's no evidence linking Joe Biden to anything. Now, do you think Donald Trump would get a pass like that? Of course not. 60 Minutes, New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, MSNBC, they should be barking at the top of their lungs at investigation. I've been calling for a special counsel now for a long time. And the reason's quite simple. Meritless Garland is incapable of conducting an investigation of this. This is why the special counsel exists in the first place. They had no basis whatsoever for appointing a special counsel against Trump. Trump hadn't done anything, and he wasn't really accused of doing anything when you look at the accusations. Here, I don't know how you miss it. It's in the newspapers, at least some of them. It's on our network. It's in other places. It's on the laptop. The incuriosity is really quite remarkable. And Merrick Garland is going to dig in. And, of course, the Democrats have not held a single hearing, not one, into Hunter Biden, his laptop, the communist Chinese money. Even the Washington Post admits $4.8 million. $4.8 million went to the Biden family. $4.8 million from a communist Chinese front company went to the Biden family. And there was a great piece in the Federalist the other day by a gentleman, and he said, Biden hasn't released his tax returns. He's released his individual tax returns. But the vast majority of the money Biden has went through two S corporations that have not released their tax returns. Two S corporations that the media simply do not care about. $13 million, he calculates, went into these companies, and not a single concern about releasing those taxes. You know, Donald Trump came into office a multi-billionaire, and they're obsessed with his tax returns even now. We have people who come into office and become multimillionaires, or leave office and become multimillionaires, and nobody cares about their taxes.
Absolutely, Mark. It's stunning. By the way, I'm not just saying this because I'm a fan, but that first answer, all of them, but that first answer on immigration is probably the best articulation summary of what we're up against. You've been so generous.